and how many he would have had. Wake up and smell a coffee, man.
Well, that was wild. Lil Boosie straight up went off on DL Hughley, blasting him for not being the most solid person in the game.
Been told y'all. I can't talk right now. I'm on live.
And let's be real, when Boosie goes off like that, it's usually not just for clout. He was standing up for someone he truly believes in, and that someone is none other than Monique.
Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something.
This whole storm kicked up because DL decided to take another jab at Monique, throwing shade like it's open season again. But Monique ain't the type to bite her tongue, and she's been calling him out, saying she's tired of his slick talk and fake respect. Now Boosie and Katt Williams have entered the chat, and they're both letting DL know loud and clear. They're not backing down either. These two are riding hard for Monique, saying more people need to stop pretending and show her some love, especially after all she's been through in the industry. They're basically saying, DL, you've been at the top long enough, it's time somebody checks you.
If the people who felt like I felt, all these multi spoke up and said something, the narrative would start changing.
And honestly, they might have a point. DL Hughley is one of the most successful comedians out there, a certified veteran whose career-defining comedy tours made him a household name. But even with all that fame and fortune, it looks like no one is too big to get called out anymore. Boosie and Katt aren't joking around. They're dragging old receipts, past interviews, and side comments to remind everyone that DL's slick words don't go unnoticed anymore.
The name DL Hughley.
Yep.
And until he take accountability, I won't let...
What started as some celebrity shade has now turned into a full-blown public showdown, with fans picking sides and social media lighting up like fireworks. People can't believe these heavyweights are going toe-to-toe, and the tension just keeps building. Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure. This beef ain't dying down anytime soon. What really got people shook is how fast this blew up. Nobody expected things to get this messy, this quick. Boosie's never been one to hold back. The man's known for hopping on live and speaking his mind about everything, from politics to personal beefs. But this time, it's different. This time, it's somebody from his own lane, someone he's even shown love to before. So when DL Hughley started throwing shade again, Boosie didn't come with small talk, he came with heavy fire straight to DL's doorstep. Now Katt Williams, his angle hits even deeper. This isn't just some random Hollywood squabble for him, it's personal. See, Monique has always stood by Katt when the industry tried to clown him. She walked that same lonely road, calling out the same kind of people who tried to shut him out. She even used the same stage, her platform, her truth, the exact way Katt did back in the day. So tell me, how could he not ride for her now? There's loyalty, and then there's this. Boosie and Katt Williams both believe Monique down to their bones.
Lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer's over here, but the answer is really over here.
They're saying she's been mistreated, misunderstood, and most of all, underestimated. And if anyone knows what that feels like, it's those two. But DL Hughley? He's been on a totally different vibe. He keeps saying Monique's not giving the full story, hinting that she's bending the truth for sympathy, and that's exactly what's got Boosie and Katt fuming. They see that as straight-up disrespect. What's got fans in disbelief is how these once-friendly names turned into full-blown rivals overnight. These folks used to share stages, interviews, laughs. Now they're taking public shots at each other like it's open season. Whatever connection they had before is long gone. No coming back from this one. And trust me, if you've caught what they've been saying in the last few hours, you'd know this beef just got way too real. From the outside looking in, it might seem like everybody in the entertainment world is one big happy family. Hugs, laughs, and photo ops. But behind those smiles, the drama runs deep. Every now and then, things boil over, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Boosie and Katt Williams aren't just talking anymore. They're on DL Hughley's neck, calling him out live for everyone to see. It's gotten messy fast, and people are wondering, how did it even reach this point? Well, it all traces back to where the real heat started, Monique versus DL Hughley. These two have been dancing around their feud for years, but DL just reignited the fire after his latest round of comments about her interview appearance. The spark came when Monique sat down for a tell-all on Club Shay Shay, hosted by Shannon Sharpe, where she opened up about her struggles and her past conflicts in Hollywood.
How somebody who has a comedian talks his everybody else that she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much as you say about people?
Instead of taking the high road, DL fired back hard, and not everyone liked how far he went. In a fiery 4-minute Instagram reel, DL Hughley ripped into Monique, accusing her of having a strained relationship with her family and even saying she keeps her husband, Sydney Hicks, on her payroll. Man, Club Shay Shay's getting messier by the day, DL started. It's like Wendy Williams didn't leave. She just got a gym membership. Then he took it a step further, joking about Monique's weight before throwing in, "Every time I see Monique, it's her and her daddy whining about something." Fans instantly called that one out as low blow territory. But DL wasn't done, not even close. He went on to call Monique a liar over a past encounter on his radio show. According to DL, Monique claimed one of his co-hosts made her uncomfortable during an old interview, and she called him afterward to complain. DL said, "Monique's lying. She called me, I listened, and I pulled the segment. If I was as dismissive as she says, that piece would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her." Then he doubled down, dragging up their old contract dispute and saying it caused serious stress in his household. "She knows exactly what went down," DL said, "but she went too far. She talked about my dog, my wife, and even brought up my daughter's trauma."
The biggest mistake is saying yes to you. I should have said no when you couldn't come on my radio show. I should have said no that I wasn't playing those dates with you.
He claimed Monique publicly reopened his daughter's old wounds just to get back at him. And that's when everything exploded online. Now, with DL calling Monique a liar and Monique standing firm on her truth, Boosie and Katt Williams stepped in like soldiers ready for war. They're not just defending her, they're demanding respect, saying DL crossed the line one too many times. What used to be industry banter has turned into a full-blown public clash, and the fans, they're eating up every word. This isn't just entertainment anymore, it's personal, and it's unfolding live for the world to see. To really drive his point home, DL Hughley didn't hold anything back. He went full throttle, saying Monique's not just bitter, she's distant from her own family.
Those date with you. As a matter of fact, almost anybody who says yes to you at some point is in this milieu with you. Almost anybody. So I would suggest anybody out there, you could say yes to say no to Monique.
He flat out claimed she's estranged from her children and grandchildren, turning a professional feud into a personal attack that had everyone's jaws on the floor. But he didn't stop there. He took a sharp turn and went for her career next. "You know what else you don't see Monique doing?" Telling jokes, DL snapped. "If she spent half as much time writing her Netflix special as she does complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash." He even said it got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history. His words were cold, calling her bitter, unfunny, and obsessed with grievances. Then, with no hesitation, he accused her of being fake nice to people just to get what she wants. "There's a reason why every room she walks into turns toxic," DL said. "She's only sweet when she needs something." Fans couldn't believe how far he was taking it. It was harsh, even for Hollywood standards. Now, while DL kept airing her out, Boosie wasn't buying his version of the story. He made it clear that he believes Monique, not because she's famous, but because the pain she's talking about hits home for a lot of people in the industry, especially women of color. Boosie said the issue ain't just about Monique versus DL. It's about an entire system that keeps Black women underpaid and undervalued. He wasn't just standing up for Monique. He was standing up for every sister who's been told to be grateful while getting shortchanged. And Boosie had receipts to back that feeling up. Just last month, actress Taraji P. Henson broke down in tears during her interview with Gayle King, saying she's tired of fighting to get paid what she's worth after decades in the game. "You get tired," Taraji said. "People say, you work a lot, and I tell them, I have to. The math ain't mathing." That moment shook people, and it clearly struck a chord with Monique too, who's been saying the same thing for years. Chance the Rapper, Keke Palmer, and other stars all joined the conversation, and that's when Boosie jumped on Instagram Live to talk about it too. In the clip, he said, "Power comes in numbers, and that it's time people stop ignoring what's been going on for too long." "Black women been getting underpaid for years," Boosie said passionately. "Monique ain't crying, she telling the truth." So while DL kept trying to paint Monique as bitter, Boosie flipped the script, saying she's brave. And with Katt Williams co-signing that message, this whole feud turned from gossip into something bigger.
Monique been telling y'all, Black women are being underpaid. She been telling y'all women are being underpaid.
A real conversation about respect, power, and who gets to speak their truth in an industry built on silence. Taraji P. Henson's emotional comments didn't just open eyes, they cracked the whole conversation wide open. Once she spoke up, it was like a domino effect. Everyone suddenly started paying attention, and now folks all over the industry are finally waking up to what Monique's been saying for years. Boosie broke it down plain and simple. Everybody's hopping on the bandwagon now, but Monique been telling y'all the truth, he said. They gave Brad Pitt $25 million and they gave her $150,000. When people start speaking up, it becomes real. Power comes in numbers. He wasn't exaggerating either. Monique's been one of the loudest voices calling out the pay gap for Black women in entertainment long before it was trending. Back in 2022, she even took Netflix to court, suing the platform for offering her way less than her white and male peers for a comedy special.
But when people start opening their mouth up, it becomes reality.
That move sparked major debate online, with some calling her brave and others, like DL Hughley, saying she was just complaining again. But Boosie and Katt Williams saw something different. They saw someone refusing to stay quiet when the industry wanted her silenced. Now, as for Katt Williams stepping into this storm, it's not just about Monique, it's personal loyalty. Katt and Boosie go way back, and their bond runs deeper than most people realize. When Boosie got out of prison and was struggling to get back on his feet, it was Katt who came through out of nowhere with thousands of dollars to help him out. Boosie still talks about that day like it just happened, saying, "Man, I really needed that money at the time. I was staying in a hotel downtown New Orleans with my kids, no house, no nothing. Katt didn't even hesitate. He just helped me." That moment built a real friendship, one based on respect, not fame. So when Katt saw Monique being dragged again, especially by someone like DL, it hit a nerve. He knows what it's like to be blackballed, to have people twist your words, to be called crazy just for standing on truth. That's why he's riding with Boosie and Monique now, because for him, this isn't just Hollywood gossip, it's about principle. And fans have noticed too. After Katt's brutally honest interview on Club Shay Shay, people started seeing a new side of him, raw, humble, and unfiltered.
Bro called me to his show, and when I was leaving his show, I thought he threw me some weed in the car because it was wrapped up in a towel. But it was $15,000, bro.
When Boosie shared that story about how Katt helped him, the internet went wild, calling Williams one of the realest in the game. But all this love and loyalty didn't erase the bigger issue, the long-standing tension between Monique and DL Hughley, which has only gotten worse. In her Club Shay Shay appearance, Monique finally unpacked where the feud really began. She revealed that things got ugly years ago after she mentioned DL's daughter while clapping back during their earlier dispute. Something DL says crossed the line and hit his family deeply. That wound never fully healed, and now, with both sides talking again, it's all bubbling back to the surface. What started as a conversation about pay and fairness has exploded into one of the most personal showdowns Hollywood's seen in years. And this round, everyone's watching every word. The tension between Monique and DL Hughley didn't just pop out of nowhere. This feud has history, and it's ugly. It all kicked off back in May 2022, when Monique exploded on stage during a live comedy performance in Detroit. Right in the middle of her set, she went off on DL over what she said was a shady contract dispute. According to Monique, her deal clearly stated she was supposed to be the headliner that night, the main event, the closer. But when DL got wind of that, she claimed he refused to perform unless he got top billing instead. That's when the fireworks began. DL quickly denied everything, saying she was twisting the story, but by then, it was too late. The drama had already gone public. Both stars started trading shots online and in interviews, and things spiraled from professional tension into something deeply personal. By June 2022, the feud had taken a dark turn. Monique dug up an old interview where DL allegedly admitted he once didn't believe his own daughter, Ryan Nicole Shepard, when she came forward saying she'd been assaulted. That's how his daughter's name got dragged into the spotlight, and it changed everything. Monique drew a painful comparison between that situation and her own experiences as a Black woman not being believed when she spoke about mistreatment in Hollywood. In an Instagram post, she shared the old interview clip and wrote, "When my husband and I say we have to fight for the little girls coming up behind us, this is what we mean. DL didn't believe his own daughter over a friend because it was easier to protect his image than face the truth. That's why so many black women aren't believed when they speak on their trauma. Her post hit hard, and the internet erupted overnight. DL and his daughter fired back fast, accusing Monique of crossing a serious line.
Who did something for me, brother? I get emotional talking about it, bro. Like, I really needed it at the time.
They said she weaponized private family pain just to win a public argument, calling it cruel and unnecessary. DL's daughter even said she felt re-traumatized, seeing her personal story being used like ammo. Fans were split. Some said Monique was shining a light on real issues, while others said she took it way too far. But Monique stood firm. She clapped back saying DL was just trying to twist the narrative to make her look bad. DL Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that, she insisted. Then she added something that caught everyone's attention. Never would I try to hurt any of your babies, because we got babies too. Her message was clear. She wasn't trying to attack his family. She was calling out what she saw as hypocrisy and how he handled things. By then, though, the damage was done. What started as a fight over who got to headline a comedy show had turned into one of the most personal, emotionally charged feuds the entertainment world had seen in years. Now, every time either of them speaks, fans wait to see if another shot is fired because this war of words shows no signs of cooling down. That wasn't the only bombshell Monique dropped about DL Hughley. Not even close. On Club Shay Shay, she laid everything out on the table, and DL clearly didn't like what he heard. He fired back with a long Instagram rant, trying to defend himself and paint Monique as the one stirring up drama. According to DL, when Monique once called him upset about being offended by his co-hosts, he actually pulled that segment off the air, saying that proves he wasn't dismissive at all. He claimed he respected her wishes and handled the issue privately, not the way she made it sound in her interview. But Monique wasn't about to let that slide. Just a few days later, she hopped on Instagram Live with her husband, Sydney Hicks, to set the record straight once and for all. She said the only reason DL pulled that segment was because she threatened legal action, not because of respect, like he claimed. "Don't twist the truth," she said. "If I didn't speak up and make noise, that interview would have aired like nothing ever happened." You could feel the fire in her words. She was done playing nice. And even before Boosie and Katt Williams jumped in to back her up, Monique was already holding her ground strong. She wasn't waiting for anyone to save her. She was calling out DL publicly and standing firm in her truth. The moment she went live, fans flooded the comments, cheering her on. The energy online completely shifted, with more people than ever rallying behind Monique. Not just because they believed her story, but because they were tired of watching powerful men try to silence outspoken women. One fan wrote, "I'm sorry, but if anyone still thinks DL Hughley's hands are clean after what's come out about the other kings of comedy, you're lost." Birds of a feather flock together. Others echoed that same vibe, saying it'll take way more than calling Monique a liar to change how the public feels about her. In fact, DL's attempts to discredit her only seemed to make people question him even more. At this point, the drama's not just between two comedians, it's a whole cultural moment. It's about who the people believe and who's brave enough to speak up when the spotlight gets hot. And right now, Monique's voice is the loudest in the room, backed by Boosie, Katt Williams, and a wave of support that keeps growing louder by the day. So what do you think? Did DL Hughley go too far? Or is Monique just finally saying what others are too scared to? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this wild Hollywood showdown. See you in the next one.